Welcome back to I Love You 3000 Minutes. My name is Brian.
I'm Richard.
And this is the podcast that time traveled back in time after stealing the Eye of Agamotto from Ant-Man, because Ant-Man shouldn't have his dirty little hands on him. Just kidding. He washes his hand regularly because he cares about other people's health. He also wears a mask. I mean, to hide his identity, but you know, it has a filtration.
It's functional.
Yeah. It does extra stuff. Safety first. Where was I? Oh, so that we could rewatch the entire Infinity Saga from Iron Man 1 to Spider-Man Far From Home, one marvelous minute at a time. This is minute 67 of Iron Man 1. And Richard, what happened?
Well, we kind of cut the last minute off right, like perfectly between scenes. So it just starts off with him sitting at his computer desk with the multiple screens in front of him. And he says...
Who would ever use multiple computer screens?
Like everybody.
I don't.
I'll get one. You should get one. It'll be great.
Sorry.
So he's sitting there, he says notes, a lot of technical jargon that I cannot recite verbatim, but he basically mentions that he's changing the material in part of the exoskeleton systems to include a gold titanium alloy or something from some structure.
It's from a satellite.
Yeah.
That he owns, and because of an issue at plus 40 altitude or whatever it was, suspected issue ice.
Yes.
Who would have known?
And
Who would have thunk it?
Jarvis lets in the snarky little astute observation, sir.
Yeah, he says main transducer feels sluggish at plus 40 altitude. Hull pressurization is problematic, and then icing. And then Jarvis goes, if you intend to visit other planets, we should improve the exosystem. So he says, connect to the Cisco. I'm reading the subtitles, which aren't perfect. I know they leave the word Seraphim, I believe, out, at least. But it says, connect to the Cisco, have it reconfigure the shell metals, use the gold titanium alloy from the tactical satellite. That should ensure fuselage integrity while maintaining power to weight ratio, with more dictation in the back on the computer to his right. Jarvis is always dictating. It's a perfect Siri. And then he renders it. He starts rendering it, but then Tony gets distracted.
Yes, he gets distracted by the TV news telecast. What was the name of the benefit? That
the Firefighters Family Fund.
Yeah, but it was like the Tony Stark Firefighters Family Fund. Yeah,
Tony Stark hosting the third annual Firefighter Family Funds. Tony Stark's third annual benefit. So he hasn't created the Firefighters Family Fund, but he's hosting benefits to help that organization.
Yes.
And this is the third year in a row.
Yes.
And it's become the place to be, getting money to help, spouses and children of dead firemen can be really entertaining. Apparently. I mean, it's a benefit, it's an event, so even though it's for that, they could still, have fun and have dinner and socialize and stuff. Yeah. Kind of.
I mean, they don't need to be all like...
Kind of awkward for a reporter to be like, we're doing something for orphaned children and spouses who've lost their significant other as a firefighter. And damn if it isn't more fun than Disneyland.
Well, I have no idea what goes on at the benefit, but Tony...
Have you ever seen Eyes Wide Shut?
I know of it. I haven't watched all of it.
Okay.
I've seen scenes from it.
Pervert sex shit.
So that's what you've been...
That's not what happens here.
I was going to say, is that what you've been...
joke.
I was going to say, is that what you've been trying to imply this whole time? And
yes,
it's just been
Eyes
going...
Wide Shut is a pervert sex movie. The last movie shot by Stanley Kubrick, but using his notes to edit it, as Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise when they were still together. And
he did submit a cut, like his initial cut. It wasn't intended to be the final cut, but after he submitted his cut, he mysteriously died in his sleep a few nights later or a week later.
Was the cut complete, the first cut?
Yes, but it wasn't intended to be the final cut. It was just like, this is a rough cut. It was like his rough cut, his initial rough cut.
Gotcha.
And notes, like you said. But yeah, that was mysterious. So is that what you'd been trying to imply this whole time?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I came up with, when you said you don't know what happens inside, then I made that joke. But I was pointing out how
I could see the connection.
How kind of awkward it would be to be like, here, honey, here, kids, we're going to go watch the telecast to see the event that's helping us after Daddy was so brave and saved people and died being a hero. And then they're like, this is the place to be. If you're not here, you're a loser. You're missing out. Go to some other party, loser. It's like...
Yeah. I mean, the more people that come, the more lively the party is, the more people are going to come and the more it's going to help the benefit.
No, I was just poking fun at her saying, this is the place to be. It's like...
I mean,
you might talk about the Oscars like that.
Right.
Or something else. Or like, parties at Cannes or South by Southwest.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I've been to a benefit before, but normally whenever I've heard of them in movies, they're
swanky.
They're hoity-toity. Exactly. And, yeah.
I was just making a little poke at her saying this is the place to be. I'm like, is it though? Mm-hmm. Is this the most fun place to be? Should it? It should still be swanky and thank the people putting down tons of money, but should it be the best place to be?
Yeah. But Tony is taken off guard by this. He's like, he said my name. Why did they say my name? And
say my name.
Yeah.
Product placement. I was just editing our reaction to the 1-star reviews that's on Patreon for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And we were on the guy who was like, an American hero wouldn't eat Subway.
Yeah, it's weird. And the guy said that like with a sarcastic tone too. Yeah, right, because an American hero wouldn't eat Subway, he had to eat Burger King. And I'm just reading this review and I reread it like 3 times. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this guy?
Would this guy have had a problem if the product placement was Subway?
Yeah, apparently he wouldn't have, according to him.
For me, it just seemed more natural for him to be like, I want 2 things. First, I want a cheeseburger. Like, that's all American, quote unquote, branding style.
Sure.
Burgers and cowboy riding and beer.
Maybe.
No one's like, could you imagine Tony sitting down and be like, I want 2 things. I want a foot long. Mm-hmm. And that's enough. Not the thing you think. Not sex. Like she just thinks he says he wants a foot long and to give a woman his foot long.
Maybe the reviewer was thinking like, Burger King's for fancy hoity-toity people and Subway, the $5 footlongs are the everyman and Tony Stark.
Just making excuses for their idiocy.
I'm not making excuses. I'm trying to figure out this guy's weird warped perspective here.
Well, if you want to watch a video that at the beginning of editing was almost an hour long and probably won't be too much shorter than that, go over to the Patreon. But we have gotten off track. So
he is
did we get an invite for that?
Yeah, he asked him because he wasn't aware that this was happening. He just says, did we get an invite for that? No, sir. Interesting. And basically everyone on the reporters or who's ever narrating for that newscast is saying the rumor is that Tony has been bedridden ever since his strange awkward press conference after he was kidnapped, and they think that it's post-traumatic stress disorder,
and he's been bedridden for weeks.
Exactly. And he's just sitting here like, no, I wasn't bedridden the day after I came back, or the day that I came back. He wasn't even bedridden then. So
total, we know that it's been weeks since the press conference. Mm-hmm. Minimum 2 weeks.
Yes.
Probably, I'm feeling like 3 weeks. So somewhere in there is where she left the coffee. So if we just put it right down the middle, have a lot of testing, and then having him take the time to construct it as even parts, she put down coffee, a week in? Quickest? Mm-hmm. This is week-long coffee.
Yeah. Oh my God, I don't know. So, yeah, he wears the Iron Man mask while that's happening, and that's kind of explaining what he's been doing this whole time. They're saying that he's
doodles on it, too.
It's not scratch. No, it's not. Oh, those are like design doodles. Yeah.
I'm not. No, I wasn't saying he was drawing a kite.
Yeah. And so
Tony Doodles.
What?
Tony Doodles.
Yeah, Tony Doodle schematic doodles. That's what I think of. And so he's basically he's saying, this is what I've been doing, the whole world doesn't know or care or about what he's doing. Yeah. They're more just saying, oh, poor Tony, he's been bedridden ever since that whole incident. And he's like, what the hell is everyone talking about? He's been putting on a new persona this whole time. So.
Well, he hasn't done anything really, actually. The only thing he's gone out to do is talk to Rhodey and be like, want to see my toy?
He made
see my science project?
That's true. That's the only time he came out. And, other than that, it's just been all suit work, including flight testing when he left it. when he left his residence. So
yeah. All right. So I'm looking at some of these doodles. There's more stuff I want to break down as well, but this is around the 55-second mark, and I can read a few things. One is in the top right-hand corner from our perspective of the mask. It says port here, alt sensor here, right at the same point. So there's something else, but I can't really read it. Then lower on his left cheek, so from our perspective, it's on the right, it says targeting. And the top left-hand corner, it says audio P3/22. Do you know what that means?
Nope.
All right. Another curious thing I thought was that instead of him having the ice on his head, he's got an ice pack on his shoulder. So wasn't one of the first tests he did after he showed Pepper this, the thing that shot him into the wall?
Man, I'm getting really out of order here. I thought he launched himself into the wall and then he did the test with Pepper.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Well, the next thing he did was going over the cars then after that. So